everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like. Today is a very exciting day. It is the day I will be picking my April TBR. I am filming this halfway through March, so a bit earlier than I usually do, but I'm just too excited. I had to get this done. Disclaimer, the road right now is extra busy for some reason. I have no idea, so just ignore the cars going by. I do live on a pretty busy road and there's nothing I can do about it. Normally, for my TBR videos, I tell you guys about 3 of the 4 ways that I pick my TBR each month. The 4th way is Series Slasher, my game that I play. Separate from all of this, I will have its own whole vlog, so you will still get to see all of that. But this month, instead of just 3 ways, I will be adding a 4th way to pick my TBR, and that is because the announcement for Magical Readathon has dropped. It actually dropped a couple of hours ago, and that's why I'm very excited to pick my April TBR, because I cannot stop thinking about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Magical Readathon is hosted by G over at Book Roast, and this is my favorite readathon. It's so much fun. It's based in like a magic school, and you have to go to classes, and each class has like a different prompt in order to read a book to pass that class. She added graduate studies this year. They're called higher callings. I'm not quite up to that yet. I could have been, because the like base level callings, there are 4 levels, so you can do 4 years of that before you reach the top rank and then move on to the higher callings if you so choose. I switched callings though. My character, Berenice, was a something? I don't actually remember what her initial calling was, but I did one for the first year, and the next year I switched to Moon Warden, so I am now in my 4th year of that. So this is her last year of her base calling studies, and then next year we can move on to a higher calling, and I do already have one in mind. If you know about the Moon Warden and you watched the video and have seen what the higher callings are, you will know which one I am going to. But we will talk about that at the end of this video. That will be the last little segment we talk about. First, we're going to get the basic things out of the way. So the first way that I pick my TBR each month is with book clubs. So I am part of 2 book clubs. The first is the Nostalgia Train book club hosted by my friend Violet. As of right now, I'm not sure if we're going to have a pick for April. So there are 2, not 2, what am I saying? There's a spreadsheet where people can like put their choices in and like claim a month for the book they want to read, and no one has put anything in for April right now, so we might just skip it, or something will be put in later. If a book does get chosen, I will add a like pinned comment or something to this video to let you know what we'll be reading. The other book club that I am in is the Honeybee Society book club, which is my own book club where we read 1 academia book every 2 months. Maybe that's where I got the number 2 from. But the pick for March and April is Bunny by Mona Awad, which I am actually currently reading in March. I'm almost a third of the way through, so I will not have to read it in April. So book clubs are kind of 0 for 2 here. That's a little bit less pressure on me in the reading department, I guess. Next up is hrcyed. hrcyed stands for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. It is run by Q over at the channel QWERTY, and this is a bingo board of challenges that runs from July of one year to June of the next year. So I am heading into the last, like, the home stretch of it. Only 3 more months to finish out the books, and I have not gotten many prompts 100% finished, but of the prompts that I have left, only 2 of them have like many books left to read for them. Most of them I only have 1 or 2 books I have to read to finish them out, so those will be finishing up quickly. But I'm going to pull 3 of those prompts for me to focus on. I'm not going to pick specific books from those challenges to read in the month, but when I have time, I will look at these 3 challenges and the books I have to read for them and find a book to read. I hope that makes sense. But I have all of the prompts in here. We're gonna shake up these little slips of paper and pull 3 of them. Last month we pulled 4 because they were stuck together. This month we're only gonna do 3, and here is the first one. Nonfiction. Okay, I believe this is one of the ones where I only have 1 left, so that is great. Couldn't tell you what it is, but we have the second one. And this one says creatures. Okay, creatures, I know for a fact I only have 1 left, and it is the zombies or undead creatures. And I'm very excited because I will be binging a series to cover that prompt. So that is a vlog you have to look forward to, I guess. And the third and final hrcyed focus is this one. So we have, oh, adaptations. I've already finished that. So let's pull a different one. I didn't realize I put that one in here. Come on, there we go. Now, our official third one, unless it's another one that I finished, is Heritage Months. Okay, I have, I believe, 2 more books to complete this prompt. So we will pick up between one of those when I have time during the month. So let's put this off to the side, and then we can talk about the third way that I pick my books for the month. So what is normally the last way that I pick books each month, but this time will be the second to last way because of the magical readathon, is my TBR game, the Adventurer's TBR, in which I use this deck of cards, which is only half a deck at this point in time because I keep out the ones that I've pulled over the past year and change. At the start of 2025, I started keeping them out so I wouldn't pull the same ones over and over again. This is the Adventurer's Tarot by Weirdworks. It is not a tarot deck, it is an oracle deck. It's just called the Adventurer's Tarot. And I have assigned prompts to the cards. There are 2 types of cards. There are class cards, where there are 2 copies of that card in the deck. If I pull one of those, I get to choose between the 2 prompts which one I would rather do, unless of course I've already pulled one of those cards and already used one of the prompts, then I have to use the other. The other types of cards are the enemy cards, and those are like a set, so it'll be like the 1 of dragons, 2 of dragons, 3 of dragons, 4 of dragons, and the prompts for those sets all fit a similar vibe or theme. So I will pull 3 cards. I have already shuffled, but we'll do a little bit of a deck split just for fun to show you that I'm not putting certain ones on top, and we'll see what cards I get. First up is the 3 of Constructs, very pretty, very purple. Then I have another purple card, ooh, the Rogue. Will I get a 3rd purple card? Let's find out. No, very different. The Aberration, okay. I will consult my list of prompts to see what these correlate to and pick some books, and then come back to talk to you about them. Okay, friends, I am back, and thankfully I was able to overlap quite a bit between these card pulls and both my magical readathon Beryllium prompt books and the hrcyed focuses that I pulled. So that is fantastic. We are not trying to overwhelm ourselves. March put a little too much on my plate, and it's going okay so far, but I'm starting to feel a little stressed, but it's fine. So, I first pulled the 3 of Constructs, and the prompt for this is a book published from 2010 to 2019. The book that I have picked is from 2018, and it does fit the creatures prompt for the hrcyed focus, so that's great. It is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. I don't know much about this. There's necromancers and different kinds of undead. I have been told from a friend whose reading taste that I trust that the vibes of this are similar to The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones, which is my favorite book of all time, so very excited to be going into this. I will be reading this and also its sequel because I want to do a binge of the duology, so wonderful. Then I pulled The Rogue, and the 2 prompt options for this are a book that's out of my comfort zone or a genre I don't usually reach for, and I have gone with a genre I don't usually reach for because a genre that I don't usually reach for is nonfiction, so that overlaps with the hrcyed focus. And the nonfiction that I have left to read is You Are Special by Fred Rogers. Neighborly words of wisdom from Mr. Rogers. I watched a lot of Mr. Rogers as a kid, so I found this in a Little Free Library a few months ago, and it was just so nostalgic to me, so I'm gonna read it. And probably put it immediately back in a Little Free Library, but still get a little bit of joy out of it. Then the third card that I pulled was The Aberration, and the prompt for this is an audiobook. I don't really listen to audiobooks on their own. I like to listen while I read along, either digitally or physically. It just helps me take in information a little bit better. But the book that I have picked for this, I will be reading along physically. It is a reread, so I could read it on its own as an audiobook and still know what's happening because I've read it before, but I'm going to read along physically because I own a copy of it, and that is Divine Rivals. I love this book. It was maybe my number one favorite book the year that I read it, but I've been wanting to reread it for about a year now, ever since I read Ruthless Vows. I'm like, damn, fantastic books. Loved both of them so much. 10 out of 10 perfection. So I'm finally going to reread Divine Rivals, and I'll do it with the audiobook and the physical book at the same time. Sounds like a fantastic idea to me. So those are my card pull picks. And now to talk about my Magical Readathon TBR. So I have to read 5 books to fulfill the 5 classes that I have to take as a Moon Warden, or my character has to take to be a Moon Warden. So I have 5 books to talk to you about. Technically, there will be more because I haven't fully decided which one I will be reading for one of the picks. Yeah, I will decide closer to the month based probably mostly on what I can have access to. So the first prompt is Elemental Studies, and this is to read a book with a temperature word in the title, and this was actually really hard, but then I remembered this book that came out a few years ago that I was super interested in and just never got around to, and I don't own it, so I will put a cover here. But that is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This is historical paranormal, and I have read Catherine Arden before. I really liked some of her books, was a little bit disappointed by others, but I'm willing to give this a shot, mostly because it is the most interesting of the list of books that I found that had like warm, cold, hot, those type of words in the title, so that's what I'm going with. Then for astronomy, it is to read a book from the highest point in your home, or like the top shelf, or a book that is just top of your TBR. And a book that is the top of my TBR right now is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. This is the sequel / companion to There There, which is one of my favorite books. I love it so much. I've read it so many times, and I found this for like $7 at a thrift store, and it's in like almost perfect condition, and I just cannot wait to pick this up. I'm so freaking excited. This is probably the one that I'm most excited to be reading in the month, even though I'm rereading Divine Rivals, and that's one of my favorite books of all time. This, I feel like, because it's not a reread and I'll be experiencing it for the first time, I'm just a little bit more excited because I want to see if it holds up to the first book. So that's great. The third class is Art of Illusion, and the prompt for this is a book with unusual formatting. So the examples that G gave are like an epistolary book, a mixed media book. For this, I'm going to go with You Are Special because it's not just told out in prose. It's like these little vignettes of advice, and I'm considering that to be unusual formatting. So is it fudging things? Perhaps a little bit, but also I don't think so. So that is the third book. You can see now where the overlapping is happening. Next up is Restoration, and this is the class that I have not yet picked a book for. This prompt is to ask a friend what their top 5 favorite books are, and I asked my friend Tiara to send me her top 5 favorite books, and honestly she sent me this list, and I was like, yeah, that's Tiara. That completely tracks. So the books that she gave me to choose from are Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, and Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I think I'm leaning mostly towards either Lessons in Chemistry or Giovanni's Room, but I could go for any of these. I've read Flowers for Algernon before, but not in a very long time. I believe that I read that in 5th or 6th grade. Like, I read it very young when I was in school, so it's been a while. But honestly, any of these I would be like so excited to pick up. The last the last class that I have to pass is Spells and Incantations, and this is to read a book that is currently on a bestseller list. This one I thought was going to be hard, but it actually was very easy, and the book that I will be going with is Divine Rivals. I scrolled through the New York Times bestseller like homepage and just was looking at all of their different lists and the top fives for each of them. And Divine Rivals is currently #1 for the New York Times YA hardcover list, and it has been on that list for 94 weeks. That is crazy. But yeah, a little bit more overlap, and I also did some overlapping with my series Slasher, but you will see that when that vlog comes out, hopefully earlier on in the month. Yeah, here are the physical books on my TBR, and honestly, I think this is a banger of a list, plus the books that I don't own that I'll be reading. Very excited. I will be having many reading vlogs in the month, I guess. I have been trying to do like alternating reading and writing vlogs or just like life vlogs, but I feel like April, based on these books, is just going to be a lot of reading vlogs, which is fine. It's just not quite what I was expecting. Let me put this down now before I drop it. Yeah, that was my April TBR. Let me know if you are partaking in the Magical Readathon. I would love to know because I'm so freaking excited. I literally saw that G had uploaded the video for like a premiere, and I was like, yes, I'm seated. I am ready to go. So yeah, I would love to talk about it with you guys. But we have now come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.